Across the front, they bring a blitz. They hand it off to Montgomery. Montgomery, big hole, 30-yard line, 25-yard line. Still going at the 20. Cuts it right at the 15. He's gone, baby, to the house. Demo with a touchdown. Detroit Lions, 35 yards. Siobhan Ravel had a chance at him, but Demo ran right through him, and the Lions extend their lead. It is 16-6.
Dan Miller with the call. Welcome one and all to the Fox 2 Lions postgame. Woody Woodruff alongside former Lions tight end Rob Rubick. Detroit hosting Dallas on Thursday Night Football and coming away with a 44-30 victory. The Lions moving to 8-5 on the season and, more importantly, getting back into the playoff discussion. We'll check in with Fox 2 Sports Director Dan Miller as soon as he becomes available. But, Rob, your impressions of this effort tonight by the Lions?
First of all, I've worked with Dan. But I never get tired listening to him make a touchdown.
No one does.
It gets you excited.
It does.
It gets me so excited when it was happening during the game. I actually cut myself when I got a little pumped towards the end there. But yeah, it was a really good effort on both sides of the football. Big plays when they needed them. They were able to finish some plays, finish some drives, and stop Dallas in turn from putting 7 on the board instead of 3 each time. So really all around one of the better games they've had this year.
You mentioned stopping Dallas, and let's start right there. The Lions putting pressure on Dak Prescott tonight for the first time in a long time. I mean, we saw, multiple sacks tonight. Al-Qadim Muhammad was huge with 3 by himself.
I did show Talk tonight. My guest was Jeff Backus, and I was telling Jeff, and his son was there, I said, Bryson, this is why you need to be a tackle. That's why they make all the money, because they have to keep the quarterback clean. And tonight, Dallas couldn't do that because of Muhammad. And Hutch was getting chipped a lot, but he was still getting a lot of pressures and hurries. We saw Campbell get home one. So this is a defense that created problems for Dak Prescott and never let him get too comfortable in the pocket, Woody. And when you do that, it puts so much pressure on offense because it gets you behind the sticks.
How much credit do you have to give to Kelvin Shepherd? Because to have this kind of performance from this defense with everybody who's banged up and everything that was going wrong with the defense, to have a performance like this, it really shows that these guys do come out and refocus and move on.
I'm so glad you brought Kelvin into the picture here because everyone's talking about, Ben Johnson, what are they going to do? We also lost Aaron Glenn, but people don't remember that because Kelvin Shepherd's done such a great job with this defense. This defense is better than they were last year. No question. From top to bottom, it's a better defense. The offense can make some mistakes, not score 7 all the time. This defense will make plays and keep you in the game. We saw with 3 turnovers tonight with the last one of the end of the game for the Lions there. It's a real sound defense. It's a defense that's getting playoff ready. And, Woody, they're going to need that because this offense isn't quite what it was. Some problems in the interior guards and center a little bit of leakage there.
A little bit.
Can be a drive stopper at times, but this defense, I think, can really help overcome some warts that have kind of shown on the offense.
I agree with you right there because there have been some warts that have shown up, and this can cover that a little bit. But if you can get performance the way you're getting it from the offense, then it balances everything out, and then you can continue to win ball games.
Do you think, Woody, because you watch like I watch, you watch very closely, do you think the offensive line is getting better?
The Lions' offensive line getting better? I have to say yes, only because even though we saw a lot of false starts tonight, some holding penalties by offensive linemen. Correctable stuff, yes. But I think the offensive line is getting better as guys come back and filter into this thing.
You didn't see Jared Goff with so much pressure in his face. Right. Any quarterback will tell you, when you pressure them in their face, it's a difficult position because not only they can't see as well, they're always worried about the hand on the follow-through, hitting the helmet and so forth. So I thought they did a much better job. The correctable penalties you talked about, they have to work on that. But it's a young line that's starting to work together, and every series, every play they get together, they should get better.
You know, on offense, we saw a ton of positives tonight. I mean, to put up 44 points, and they get 14 of those points off turnovers, which was another way we see complementary football with this team. Offense helping defense, defense helping offense.
And that's what you have to do. So many times you'll see teams get a turnover and they go 3 and out. We've seen this Lions team do that this year, get a turnover and go 3 and out. Tonight they made Dallas pay. When they got a turnover, they were able to take the ball, get down the field, and finish drives, put 7 on the board. And that offense, it was so nice to see Monty get going again.
Yeah.
Because it's been so much about Jahmyr, and he's a tremendous special player. But Monty is the heart and soul of this team. Let's not forget that people lean on him. He's a physical, tough, no-nonsense running back who doesn't talk a lot, but he leads by example. And this run right here we saw tonight is just another example how you can't arm tackle this guy. You try to shirt tackle him, good luck. He's going to take your arm with him.
You're pulling his shirt off. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, when you talk about this team, and, you know, they always like to talk about grit, it's David Montgomery. He is the grit on this team and for this offense. And it's good to see. You know what, Rob? We still have not seen him and Gibbs at the same time
Chunking
on the field. I would love to see that, but until we do, I'm happy with the performance I'm getting from Montgomery and from Gibbs when they are in the game.
Agree 100%. You haven't seen that offensive line play well enough. We're getting those 6 to 8 yard chunks. It doesn't matter which of the two are in the game. And we're going to see that tonight. They ran the ball pretty well over 100 yards in the run game. So it's coming. It's morphing into a pretty good offense here late in the season.
I thought everybody was inspired tonight, especially the offensive line, which allowed those guys to run and get those holes. Rob, I got to squeeze in the first break of the show. We'll be right back with more. Dan Miller down at Ford Field. Lions get a big win tonight against the Dallas Cowboys. They are now 8-5. You're in touch with the Lions postgame right here on Fox 2.
The Cowboy 13, golf up under center, single back Gibbs. They give it to Jahmyr, running outside, got a blocker, down to the 10, to the 5, to the end zone, wave to him, he's gone, baby, touchdown Detroit Lions. Tristan Colon with a nice block to help spring him 13 yards, and the Lions can double up their lead with the extra point.
Jahmyr Gibbs going in for another of his 3 touchdowns on the day. Lions get the big win. You heard Dan Miller right there say wave bye-bye. Let's wave hello to Dan Miller and bring him in right now. Dan, what a performance tonight by the Lions, especially after what they were dealing with for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, guys, no option. You had to put this kind of performance on and win this game tonight to keep your playoff hopes alive. Both these teams understood that. Both teams were up against it. The team that won was going to come out of here feeling good about things. The team that lost understands they're now going to probably need a miracle to make the playoffs. And the thing you love about this one, guys, is they got back to complementary football. It was offense, it was defense, it was special teams. Everybody chipping in tonight. It's exactly the kind of performance they needed. And frankly, the kind of performance we haven't seen much of in the last 5-6 weeks.
Yeah, no doubt, Dan. And you mentioned special teams. Tom Kennedy, what a surprise tonight. I mean, for that was giving Detroit field position that they really took advantage of.
Last couple of drives when he gave them field position at the 41 and the 49-yard line really gave them a boost, and that's exactly what they needed. Look, there's a huge difference when it's a 7-point game and you're starting at your own 49 versus your own 23 or something like that. Tom Kennedy came up huge tonight. A punt return for 21 yards, 3 kickoff returns for 120 yards, and they've not had a lot of explosiveness this year in the return game, in particular on kickoffs, and Kennedy over the last 2 weeks has really provided it for them. And again, so many momentum swings in this game, and when Dallas feels like they're getting back in it, and you hit them in the face with a big return like that, that offense goes on the field feeling confident, and the defense is back on their heels right away. So again, it's a morale thing, it's a boost, it's a confidence builder, and Tom Kennedy provided tonight, and you just can't say enough about him. A guy who didn't see any snaps until a couple of weeks ago. He's been mostly on the practice squad since 2019. Dan Campbell talked to me about him, called him old reliable, and you can see why tonight.
Daniel, Woody, we talked about Tom Kennedy being reliable, but talk a little bit about Monty. Was it nice feeling like he was really a big part again?
Yeah, no doubt. And that touchdown run was a beauty. Exactly, again, when they needed it. And you kind of felt the shift when they brought him in there in the second half and how he started to hammer in that defense. It's a different look when they have with Gibbs. Gibbs was obviously terrific in this game as well, but I thought the change-up and going to Montgomery was one that clearly worked for the Lions. Dan Campbell stuck with a hot hand when it was Montgomery in there, and again, it paid off with that long touchdown run. And that's just Demo, man, running through tackles, doing what he does, just hard to bring down, and a couple of those tonight were really critical for the Lions.
Dan, I also like the fact that how it was back and forth with this. I mean, one punch there, another punch here, especially with the Lions defense, a unit that was like much maligned because of the injuries, and to see Amik Robertson, DJ Reed, who got picked on early to get the interception late to seal it. I mean, there was just great performance from guys, and you had to have it.
Yeah, guys, what have we been talking about for the last week, and really longer than that, the pass rush? Where has it been? You know, they didn't get close to Love last week against Green Bay, and that was a big part of that game. Tonight, 4 sacks, 3 takeaways. Here's something else to keep in mind. Those first 2 takeaways turned into 14 points. The Lions had gone 7 weeks without scoring a point off a turnover before tonight when they scored 14. What was the winning margin? It was 14.
Yep.
Turning those points into turnovers was huge. It's a way to flip a game. It's a way to turn momentum, and the Lions did it tonight, and they haven't been doing that for a while. And look, it's no surprise that the last time they did it, they were 4-1. When you don't do that, it makes it life difficult, and it's something the Lions have kind of had as a bread and butter type thing, that they've been able to get the takeaways and they're able to score off them, but that's been missing for the better part of 2 months. Tonight it came back, and it was a huge part of this game because every possession in this one was really critical, and the Lions were able to take advantage of more of those than Dallas did. And the other thing that stood out to me, guys, was every time Dallas kind of threw a punch in this game, the Lions were able to answer.
Right.
Every time Dallas kind of got a little bit of momentum, the Lions were able to get the ball back and march downfield. When you answer their scores with a score of your own and keep at least a 2-score lead, again, it's just winning football, and the Lions had that this evening.
Yeah, it was nice to see the Lions return to winning football. Dan, great job out there tonight. Thank you for joining us tonight. Rob, let's continue on the discussion with Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, a guy who we thought was not going to play, and all of a sudden he's in there, and he is making a serious dent in the Dallas defense.
Not only his play, but just the emotional lift. I know the crowd. Being in the crowd, watching the game, Olivia, my daughter, was with me, and we're watching. When they introduced Amon-Ra, you could just feel the uplifting of the crowd because he is our bread and butter when it comes to this offense. He's the one that moves the sticks. He's the one that gets us in the end zone many, many times. And for him to participate in this game, it just, you see the comfort level of Jared Goff just rise because all of a sudden he's got Amon-Ra. That is his security blanket, as we see time and time again. You know, Amon-Ra, he played in bad ankle, but man, he was scooting across the middle, and a couple we see right here. But it's just such a great thing when they get their weapons back. We still miss Sam Laporta. Let's not forget that. You know,
that
and
is
Brock
true.
Wright, and Brock was doing a good job. Well, he's out, so now it's kind of a patchwork deal getting the tight ends. It's by committee right now. But they just have too much talent, and that's why I said when they beat the Giants a couple weeks ago, Woody, they won for one reason. They didn't coach great. They didn't play great. They just outduted them.
Right.
And that dude was Jahmyr Gibbs. He just made too many plays individually that the Giants couldn't overcome. Well, tonight, they got coached well. The special teams, as Dan said, played well with Tom Kennedy. Not only that, Jake Bates kicking the ball. And the defense with 3 turnovers and 4 sacks. The offense, 44 points. Now, I know some of those came off turnovers. But the defense didn't score. The offense still had to take the ball, go down the field, and finish drives. Just pumped. I mean, this is so much fun when they win.
I totally agree with you.
It's
of course,
just like, yes,
we are still
yes.
waiting for Dan Campbell to approach the podium, and when he does, we will go there immediately. But we're talking about Amon-Ra St. Brown and the fact that he helps out Jared Goff, because Goff was quick drop back, attacking the edges and the slants in the middle, and that's getting back to Lions football, what he likes to do, play action, especially with the run game working.
Keeps him vertical, keeps him clean, it keeps him on his spot, and his accuracy, his intelligence gets to shine. And that's what it does. And Amon-Ra, he is the one that Jared can get the ball out too quickly because he's going to create separation quickly, and he's going to catch the ball in small spaces. And he's not a really big guy, so everything's kind of small with him. So. But anyways, yeah, it's just really good. They're a really good match together. And you can just see when he has Amon-Ra playing at that level, what a difference it is for his comfort level.
Now, the efficiency we saw on offense, and it was from a lot of guys. What about Isaac Tesla and the TD that he had tonight? I mean,
the former Hillsdale Charger.
Exactly.
Everyone says Arkansas. He started at Hillsdale.
Hillsdale.
Thank you.
Exactly. Up by the dunes.
And you know what? He had another one. He had another tutty because Jared threw the ball right towards the end of the first half. He threw it like 4 yards out of bounds. The DB fell, and Isaac was 15 yards in the clear. But he's going to get a lot of those in his career. He's going to make a lot of people fall. But it just gives you another weapon, Woody. And that's what you said. We saw him get a touchdown last week. We can see him get another touchdown here. He's only going to start adding to the stat sheet more and more and take the pressure off Amon-Ra a little bit, take the pressure off Sam Laporta not playing. And you develop another receiver.
And it's so much easier when those receivers and other guys who come in are effective at what they do. Got to take another break right here. On the other side, we will definitely hear from head coach Dan Campbell as the Lions get the win over Dallas, 44-30. You're in touch with Fox 2.
You know, after Reed's pick. So, you know, a number of guys played really good for us. You know, Muhammad with the 3 sacks, that was big time. You know, Hutch draws a lot of attention. He got some one-on-ones. Man, he won his one-on-ones. That was huge. You know, Jack Campbell was all over the field, had a punch out. TK in the return game, Tom Kennedy was huge for us, big time. So was Sailors. Special teams played a huge role. And then Goff, man, I told him we were going to put this on him. This game we were going to put on him, and it was going to start with him. And, man, he really lit the fire for us. And then St. Brown, man, we didn't know if we were going to be able to get him. Once again, St. Brown does what St. Brown does. If he can play, he's going to play. And he didn't want any plays off either, by the way. Like, he's going in to compete. He'll block. He made some explosive plays for us. Jamo stepped up. Just a number of great performances. I thought Gibbs showed up. Demo. The guys we talked about, man, we challenged a number of our guys, and, man, they really showed up for us. So that's a damn good win. That team is hot. That was a hot team coming in here. That's a potent offense. And, you know, was it perfect? No. We still got some stuff that wasn't good. You know, we had some of these penalties. We had some young guys that we got to clean some of this up, you know, false starts, stuff like that. But we overcame a lot, and that's what this team does, so I'm proud of them.
Can you speak to the complimentary effort of the football game you talked about?
That was awesome.
And then your offense turning it into special teams. You guys played that well in all 3 phases. You guys played right?
Well, that is one of the that game there is one of the few we've had where we really played complimentary football. I mean, really, really did, you know. And to be able to score right before halftime, we come out, we get the takeaway. It was a great job by Barnes, and then we turn it into points. I mean, that was huge. You know, all of that, the whole sequence of, you know, just the momentum and carrying it and helping each other out, and so everything was big, and the guys really stepped up. But we did. We played complimentary football. And that, above all, is what really makes a difference. That's what good teams do. You know, it doesn't matter how good your offense or defense is. Man, if you're not able to, like, help each other out when you need it with one of the phases, man, it's tough. It makes it tough, and we were able to do that today.
Hey, you know that St. Brown and you know, when did you decide to play, how close was it, and how much was it just presence being on the team, ripple effect on everybody else?
Yeah, it's huge. Well, you know, St. Brown is what we are. He's what we are. And that guy is, where he goes, we go. And his toughness and his willpower, his desire to compete, to help those guys around him, to do whatever it takes to win is second to none. I mean, he's rare, man. His mentality, I mean, he's got, his mindset is, it's just, he refuses to fail. He refuses to let things, nothing is going to, you know, is going to dictate where he goes, what he does, how it's going to be. He will dictate to himself what he's going to do. And it was really yesterday. It came down to, you know, provided nothing happened today when he woke up. You know, we did a workout, and quickly it was like, I'm going. And we watched him, and he was good. And was it perfect? No, but he was going, and nobody was going to talk him out of not playing. I can tell you that. So it was great to have him out there, and yes, his teammates feed off of that.
Those are the comments of Lions head coach Dan Campbell after Detroit's 44-30 win over the Dallas Cowboys. Detroit now 8-5. And Rob Rubick, let's go back to something that Dan Campbell just said. He was talking about Al-Qadin Muhammad and the 3 sacks that he had, and guys winning one-on-one battles, because we know Hutch is always going to be double teamed. It's good to see that. And how contagious is that moving forward with those guys winning one-on-one battles, since they've done it tonight?
I don't know if contagious is the right word, but it gives you hope as a fan. And as a player, you see what you did well. How did I get that sack? What did I do that I haven't been doing the past few weeks? Maybe I used a spin move inside, or maybe I used a rip underneath. Maybe I kept better leverage. Was my jump off the ball really good? It's going to be something that you're going to look at when you watch film, because you go in after a game like this, and you're pretty excited a lot of times, Woody, and you put the film on, and you're like, oh, man, I thought I played, excuse me, I thought I played better than that. And you're like, oh, I could have done that play, I could have done that play. So everything's correctable, and everything that you learn as a player, you need to be coachable, and you need to learn from the game film. But I wanted to go back to another thing that Dan Campbell said. He talked about scoring before the half, and we've talked about complementary football, how the team on defense, offense, special teams are better. Dan Campbell coached better.
Yeah. Definitely.
He can manage the clock before the half as well as he's ever done it. And you know how come I know that? Because I was calling the timeouts right before he did. and I'm a master clock guy. You can ask my kids. They watch at home. They're like, oh, yeah, you know everything, Dad.
Well, you know what? I'm also a master clock guy, and I'm looking at the clock right now. I got to go to another break. We'll have much more of the Lions postgame right after this. Stick with us.
I know that there was talk about that you guys maybe were challenged by the coaches this week. I know that was a lot on defense. Was that on offense a little bit as well,
Oh,
John?
yeah, for sure. Because that's a hot team. The offense is, we have a really great offense. We knew they were going to score some points, and we just had to try to match it or outscore.
What was working so well with you guys up front? I mean, at times this season we've seen the offensive line really kind of struggle to communicate and accomplish, everything you guys have wanted to in the pass and run game. What was working so well today?
Just everybody was training. Everybody was on the same page. O-line, backs, and receivers blocking that field.
You guys are now up, you are up to 47 touchdowns by the age of 24. What does that mean to you? I mean, I know that this isn't an individual sport and you give a lot of credit to your teammates, but just from a personal standpoint, how gratifying is it to be able to contribute the way you do to this team in this win?
Yeah, it's cool. I ain't gonna lie and say it's not, but honestly, I'm just trying to help my team win, and whatever they need me to do, I'm gonna do it. So whether that's 26 touches, 15 touches, 5 touches, whatever it is, I'll do it.
Jennifer Hammond running things in the Lions locker room with Jahmyr Gibbs. Rob Rubick, final thoughts tonight.
Well, final thought on Jahmyr Gibbs is they're really starting to use him. I always would use him. Split him out.
Mm-hmm.
You got to keep him on the field. Even when Monty's in and Monty's playing well, you got to use him. Get him in the passing game. Let him flex out, play some slot. But overall, Dan Campbell summed it up in his excitable way. He was like trying to follow, but he was like a squirrel, trying to follow. But he said, very complimentary. All 3 portions played extremely well, and that's what you need to do. And you need to do that this time of year when the schedule gets tough, and you have to go on the road a few times. Only one more home game in the last 4 for this team, so they need to continue and build on what they did tonight.
And I love the performances that we got from the players. I mean, single game performances. Al-Qadim Muhammad, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jameson Williams, Isaac Tesla, Derek Barnes with a big interception tonight. I mean, I loved what the Lions put out there today. If there was one negative, it was the officials, because there were some calls that I saw. I don't want to get anybody in trouble or fined, so I'll say it. They were terrible, Rob. How could you not see offsides and pass interference on the same play?
When you take a player's head and push it in the ground when he's getting up.
How could that not be a safety? Come on, I'm not trying to hear any of that. So, yeah, that's my rant right there for all you Lions fans who don't like the referees. But, again, let's go over the positives. Detroit gets the win, 44-30 over the Dallas Cowboys. They are now 8-5. Heading into next week's game against the LA Rams, which is going to be tough. We'll see what they can do. For Rob Rubick, former Lions tight end, I'm Woody Woodruff. Thanks a lot for joining us here. For Dan Miller out there, for Jennifer Hammond in the Lions locker room, be sure to stay with us here on Fox 2 as we continue to keep you in touch with the Lions. Fox 2's News Edge is next.